Imagine your neighbor suddenly doubling the price for borrowing sugar, and then insisting it's for your own good. The friendly exchange you once took for granted now comes with a hefty price tag and a suspicious glare. That's what's happening between the US and Canada. Two neighbors now eyeing each other warily, each move scrutinized as a potential threat to security. The once easygoing US-Canada relationship has turned tense, with suspicion replacing trust. President Trump just hiked tariffs on Canadian steel and aluminum to 50% and slapped 25% on Canadian cars, sending sales plummeting and businesses scrambling to adapt overnight. The official reason? Protecting American jobs and industries from what's described as unfair competition. But the US and Canadian economies are deeply intertwined, like conjoined twins sharing vital organs, with millions of jobs and livelihoods depending on this partnership. Tariffs disrupt a $700 billion trade relationship, where car parts and raw materials cross the border multiple times before a single car is even finished. When America sneezes, Canada gets pneumonia. These tariffs threaten to blow a $190 billion hole in cross-border trade, putting entire industries at risk and leaving workers on both sides anxious about their future. It's not just Wall Street drama. This is about real jobs, real families, and a partnership that's been the backbone of both economies for generations. The friendly wave over the fence? Gone. Now it's a high-stakes economic brawl, with both sides digging in and the stakes higher than ever. The question, can either side win without hurting themselves, or will both neighbors end up worse off? The world is watching as North America's closest neighbors go from allies to adversaries, and the outcome could reshape the future of global trade. Enter Doug Ford, Ontario's premier, who's had enough of playing nice. Ford wants Canada to hit back, hard, matching US tariffs blow for blow. He's pressuring Prime Minister Mark Carney to double Canada's retaliatory tariffs on American metals. Carney, a calm negotiator, prefers quiet diplomacy, but Ford's fiery stance is fueling public anger and political pressure. It's a classic standoff. Trump's America throws economic punches while Canada debates between restraint and retaliation. Ford channels the frustration of workers whose jobs are on the line, demanding action. Carney walks a tightrope, balancing economic stability with calls for payback. The stakes? Billions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of jobs. How long can Canada stay polite when its neighbor keeps raising the stakes? What do tariffs mean for you? It's a question that goes far beyond headlines and political debates. Tariffs aren't just numbers on a spreadsheet. They have a direct impact on your daily life, often in ways you might not expect. Higher prices, on everything from cars to canned soup. When tariffs are imposed, the cost of imported goods rises, and those increases are quickly passed on to you, the consumer, at the checkout counter. The auto industry is a North American assembly line. Parts cross borders multiple times before a car is finished. Tariffs jack up costs at every step, and in the end, consumers pay the price through more expensive vehicles. Steel and aluminum tariffs hit everything. Beer cans, washing machines, even the skyscrapers that shape our cities. Everyday products and big-ticket items alike become more expensive. Home renovations, groceries, even your favorite bourbon, everything gets more expensive. The ripple effect touches nearly every corner of the economy, from your kitchen to your local hardware store. For workers, the threat is layoffs as companies face rising costs and shrinking markets. Factories may slow production or shut down lines, putting jobs at risk and families on edge. Canada's counter-tariffs target politically sensitive US products, lawnmowers, carpet, orange juice, hitting key American regions. These measures are designed to send a message, but they also hit home for many communities. US factories pay more for Canadian metal while their exports face new barriers. The cost of doing business rises and companies struggle to stay competitive in a changing market. Farmers lose Canadian buyers and the USMCA trade deal is under strain. Agricultural exports drop and rural communities feel the pinch as markets dry up. Both sides are hurting and workers are caught in the crossfire. The uncertainty makes it hard for families to plan for the future. The economic war is real, and the casualties are everyday people. In the end, it's not just about trade, it's about the lives and livelihoods of millions. Canada's economy is reeling. April saw a record $7 billion trade deficit, a staggering figure that sent shockwaves through the nation's financial circles, and left policymakers scrambling for answers. Exports to the US, Canada's largest trading partner, have plunged by 16%, threatening thousands of jobs and putting entire industries at risk. The government is collecting record import duties, filling its coffers even as it promises urgent support for struggling manufacturers and exporters. Yet despite these pledges, businesses are slow to tap into relief programs, often tangled in red tape or unsure if help will arrive in time. Prime Minister Carney is betting on quiet diplomacy, working tirelessly behind closed doors to broker a deal that could stabilize the economy. He's negotiating behind the scenes, seeking common ground with US officials and hoping for a breakthrough that will ease tensions. Meanwhile, Canada's own tariffs are a patchwork of exemptions and loopholes, creating uncertainty for importers and exporters alike. The result? Businesses are left confused, frustrated, and increasingly anxious about their future. The dilemma is stark. Should Canada go for full retaliation, risking an all-out economic disaster, or stick with negotiation, holding out hope for a diplomatic breakthrough that could avert catastrophe? Carney's gamble could make him a national hero if he succeeds, or leave him blamed for bringing a spreadsheet to a knife fight, unprepared for the harsh realities of global trade conflict. Millions of Canadian jobs hang in the balance, from factory floors to small businesses in every province. The outcome of this high-stakes gamble will define Canada's economic future for years to come. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the world is watching to see if Canada finds its parachute before the fall. Two close allies are now locked in a bitter trade war, threatening decades of cooperation. For the US, tariffs risk backfiring, raising costs, hurting jobs, and sending a hostile message to allies worldwide. For Canada, it's an existential crisis, forcing a rethink of its reliance on the US and a push to diversify trade. The pain is immediate, but the long-term impact could reshape North America's economic landscape. This is a lose-lose fight, no winners, just mutual damage. Only diplomacy can repair the partnership and restore stability. The world's most successful economic relationship is at a crossroads. If these neighbors can't get along, what hope is there for anyone else?